One of the most famous deer, if not the most famous deer, is the Jim Jordan buck. Jim Jordan harvested this deer in 1914 near the town of Danbury, Wisconsin. It's quite an interesting story in that Jordan was deer hunting with a Winchester 25-20, unusual caliber for deer. Was hunting in an area along some railroad tracks, and a train went by. As the noise of the train surprised these deer, they jumped up, and this tremendous buck jumped up in front of him. He shot the deer. The deer ran across a river where it collapsed. Jordan then realized that he had forgot his knife and had to return back to his carriage to get a knife to field dress the deer. When he returned, the deer was gone. The deer had drifted down the river in the current, so following down the river for a considerable distance, he eventually found his deer along the river. The deer was so big, weighing over 400 pounds, that he had to return to town to get help to transport the deer. Obviously, when he brought a deer like this back, everyone was extremely excited over such a tremendous animal. A short time later, Jordan took the deer to a taxidermist who lived approximately 10 miles south of where the deer had been shot, and left it there for mounting. Approximately a year went by, and Jordan went back to talk to the taxidermist, see how he was doing with his mount. And lo and behold, the taxidermist was gone. At that point, Jordan's buck disappeared for the next 50 years. The deer resurfaced in Hinckley, Minnesota, where a man by the name of Robert Ludwig bought it for $3 in a backyard sale. Turned out that Ludwig was a relative of Jordan's. He knew that Jordan owned a bar at this point, and that Jordan did collect some whitetail heads. He showed him pictures of the deer that he had just bought, and immediately Jordan recognized that that was his deer. I'm sure that discussions pursued for several years of whether or not it was really his deer or not. There was considerable debate whether it was a Wisconsin deer or whether it was a Minnesota deer. In the meantime, they had it scored at 206 1/8, recognized it as the new world record typical whitetail. It wasn't until 1978 that Boone and Crockett finally gave him credit for being the hunter of record, except Jordan passed away approximately 1 month before Boone and Crockett recognized him. One of the more impressive characteristics is the tremendous mass of this deer. The circumferences average 6 3/4 inches. In the Boone and Crockett scoring system, you do take several circumference on each side, and there are actually 3 of these circumferences that are over 7 inches, with the largest being 7 1/2 inches. This kind of mass is unsurpassed. I know of no other deer in this category that has circumferences this large. The other unique thing about the antlers is the tremendous symmetry in them. There is only 3 1/8 inches difference from one side to the other. It wasn't until 1992 that I acquired the Jordan antlers. So from being shot in 1914 all the way to 1992, the deer had totally been outside of the state of Wisconsin. The deer had not been seen by the people of this country. Since I acquired it in 1992, we've been taking it around to the deer shows on a regular basis and letting people view the original Jordan antlers. Tremendous whitetail, tremendous story. One of my regrets is never having the opportunity to have met James Jordan during his lifetime.